So this is a continuation of the first video I did, which was the ideal first day in Stardew. So we're on to day 2, obviously, and the first thing we got to do is just get our inventory all figured out. So for day 2, our main goals are just to make sure we water our crops. We want to buy the fiberglass rod just to make fishing faster. We want to fish literally all day and try to reach at least level 4 fishing, and then bring back our most valuable things to the farm at the end of the day. It should be relatively easy to get enough money for the rod, pretty much first thing in the morning. We'll bring a rock to give to Willie so we can complete the Meet Everybody quest. And then after that, the fish we catch should give us enough to buy the rod and a little bit of bait. Might as well just kind of grab any forage along the way, just for energy. It saves us from having to eat our fish we catch. I don't usually bother with the quests outside of Pierre's, just because it's usually for something out of the way. And in this case, I know it's not any good because I've routed out the day beforehand. I still always check the trash, no matter what. Even like at the Joja Cola is worth it, just to get some energy. So the reason I give Willie the rock is just so you get the give a gift to a villager task done. Otherwise, you have to give him something more valuable, and it doesn't really matter what you give him at 0 hearts. But yeah, I'm gonna fish pretty much all day, so I'll probably cut it all out just because it's not that interesting to watch people fish. If something really interesting pops up, I'll leave it in, but chances are, no. I found some bubbles, which helped out a ton. I got a few chests out of it, but the bubbles are major just because you get that level up a little bit faster. And then I go into Willie's shop once I have level 2 fishing and hopefully enough money to buy the rod. And in this case, I really needed that how to win friends task to actually have enough money. So it worked out. And then yeah, back to more fishing after this. I'm really weird about my inventory. I like to make sure it's like very specifically designed, or so I can tab back and forth to the food as quickly as I can. I won't always do it, but it's something I tend to do. I have another problem I always run into where I just don't put things in the chest, even though it's right next to me. And I have to throw shit away for a treasure and all that, so that's my own personal problem, but having that chest there is nice. And the things you always want to eat the seaweed first. It has the lowest cost and the highest energy. And then from there, I think it's iridium quality herring, and I want to say sardines, but you can always look it up on the wiki. So on this first day, I typically sell as much as I can to get as much bait as I can, just so I don't have to come back to Willie's shop a bunch. You'll notice I'll do a ton of fishing these first few days. I usually go back once more before the shop closes at 5, just to make sure I have everything sold, all my bait bought, and 0 money. 0 money is important because I'm going to pass out today. And if you pass out with any money, you get docked like 10%. That 10% doesn't seem like a lot, but in the early game, it's pretty huge. The reason I fish so much in the early game is it's just the best source of money. There's not really a ton to do early on, especially the first, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. So you might as well just fish all day, or clay farm, or, you know, build your farm up. It depends on how you play, obviously, but this is always the best for me, at least. So it's close to the end of the day, so I always take around 1:30 or so. I don't trust myself to do it at 1:50, but I always go through my inventory and grab everything I need, everything valuable, and everything I can't sell to Willie to take back to the farm. I'll be here in the morning again just to sell the remaining fish and get a little bit extra bait and probably a trout soup. But I want to take home like relics or gems, things like that. Not relics, but artifacts. I usually leave the less valuable fish just because I don't need that much bait. But I do want a trout soup because catching catfish is really hard, especially if you're not at a very high fishing level. I think today I got pretty lucky overall, with the bubbles especially. So my fishing level I think is pretty high. Usually you want to go for at least 4, but I ended up getting 5, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why I decided to check out the beach, but I did. Nothing really valuable up there. Yeah, so there's all my fishing level ups. I always go with Fisher just because it makes the fish more valuable, and I don't use crab pots at all. So day 3 is when I probably will start checking luck. It's always raining, and high luck is great because you get more chests since we'll be fishing all day again. So that's, our main goal is just fish all day, get enough bait to last the rest of the week, and try to get up to fishing level 5 or 6. In my case, I should be able to get to 6 just because I've already reached 5. But if you're only level 4, getting to level 5 is pretty reasonable, depending on how well you can catch catfish. They're like the most frustrating fish in the game, just because they dart around so much, and it's just not something I like to do. But you get better at it. There's a spot down here, like right where I'm standing, that is the best place to fish for them, just because you can reach the deepest part of the river and get the highest quality fish. And for me, I never perfect catch the catfish, so this is the only way for me to get gold star catfish. I got super lucky with 2 chests, or 3 chests I think. Got some rubies, quite a bit of bait, and a magma geode. The geode will be really valuable just to sell. I think it's 250 gold for one of those things. And then checking trash as always. The main reason I do it is in case a garbage hat spawns. And I think the prerequisite is that you have to check at least 25 cans before you can get the garbage hat. And I didn't bring my hoe, of course. So I couldn't get 2 artifact spots, which is really annoying. But luckily I'm not going for like a heavy museum completionist run or anything. And then the beach forge was really good just because my luck is so high. So I'll empty out this chest, sell everything that Willie will buy. Occasionally I'll keep some of the fish, just because you'll need them for community center. I'll probably keep 1 clam and probably 1 mussel. And then chubs I don't sell because they're really good for energy. And again, I'm on controller, so I can't buy things very rapidly. So you'll see a lot of slow purchasing. So I have over 500 bait, which should last me until next week. So I shouldn't have to come back down here again. Maybe once, depending on how well my fishing goes and depending on how many bubbles I get. For those that don't know, the bubbles are basically just a random event that pop up that give you a higher bite rate or a faster bite rate. And that's why on the first day I was able to get a higher level just because bubbles kept appearing. I think the rest of this day I want to say I will be fishing. I don't think I'll do much else. I don't know why I did that. I think I was gonna fish there. That's the only spot in town that's pretty good for fishing because you can reach the deepest part of the river again. But smallmouth bass aren't that valuable, and that's just about all you catch there with the catfish. So I grabbed the same chests, I don't know if you noticed, from the beach. I don't like to make a ton of chests to drag them around with me. I plan on getting the backpack as soon as possible, so I don't need to make 5 different chests and drag them with me. So I decided to go back up to the farm. I don't know why, but for some reason I thought it would be a good idea. I think I just got bored of fishing, to be honest. So I grabbed all the rice shoots and some of the more valuable items with me, just to take them back up. Usually I don't leave the river at all, but I decided I might as well get some planting done. Yeah, I really don't know what I was thinking. I came all the way back up here and burned like 2 hours just to plant some rice shoots and then clear my path. I mean, I guess maybe I was thinking I want to clear this path because it tends to close itself up a lot, and that gets really annoying if you don't want to carry your pickaxe with you. But otherwise, like a rainy, perfect luck day is a really bad day to like step away from fishing. So, whatever. It's what I did, so, and I kept it. I don't know why I kept this run. And yeah, just fish some more. Fish until you pass out, pretty much. Just don't forget to bring all your stuff back. I think usually, like, for me, at least 20 catfish a day is what you want to keep a run. In this case, I only got a few, but that's because I left for so long and I'm lower level. And again, you just want to take your most valuable stuff back. Or in this case, you want to take everything back, including the chest. Geodes aren't really worth much, and I don't care about the museum, so I'll just bring everything back. And then I was going to fish, and then I decided not to, and passed out. So, get used to time again. I did reach level 7, actually. Wow, that's crazy. Especially because I stepped away for so long. But this is probably the highest I've been in fishing for a really long time. I think the good luck and all the chests really helped out with that. This is where I start to try and get a little bit more organized. I usually have like one green chest for basically things that I consider like, I guess, more natural, and then one black chest that I keep all the minerals in. So anyway, our goals for the day: fishing. Pretty much gonna fish until a little past midnight. That way we can come back to the farm and sell enough stuff to buy all the things we need on day 5. Usually it's around 6,000 to 8,000. Just depends on, how much iron ore you get. Depends on how much, or depends on what you want to buy, really. It depends on if you want to buy the bag, which I do. And it depends on if you want to upgrade your axe. What I usually will do is, on day 5, upgrade my axe, buy a new bag, and buy a bunch of seeds. So generally I need, at least 4,000 gold just for that. Plus however much iron I'll need for day 7 when I upgrade the pickaxe again. And you gotta water your plants, obviously. So this is going to be like your second to last day with the pickaxe. So it's kind of a good idea to get rid of some of the rocks on your farm, because there's going to be like pretty much a whole week where you don't have it. So if it starts encroaching on your crops, it might destroy it, and you can't do anything about it. Today, the difference, I guess the only thing that's different about today from yesterday is where we fish. We're gonna head to the mountain lake. It's probably the best place to fish if it's not raining, just because largemouth bass are pretty valuable and everything up there is pretty easy to catch. The ocean is easy to fish, but nothing is worth that much. And then the river is kind of worthless unless it's raining, which then you can get catfish. Sometimes I talk to Linus, I don't know why. Usually I'll give him a gift, but he's an easy person to raise your friendship with. And I kind of like him, so he's a kind of nomadish dude, which is cool. I'll set up a chest again, just so if I get lucky with a lot of treasure, I'll have somewhere to put it. And then yeah, back to fishing more and more. I don't know, I'd be curious to know if anybody actually wants to watch the fishing. I could always speed it up and keep it in, but I figured it'd be better just to keep it out, keep like flashing lights out by speeding it up, so just let me know. End of the day, I didn't really get anything good as far as treasure goes, but I got a decent amount of fish. So I'll take that, and then probably will leave. I didn't check the weather, which is a mistake. I should have left the rod probably. But I'll leave the chest there just so I can pick it up on the way to the mines tomorrow. A lot of the time you can just leave your fishing rod in the chest by the spot you're fishing, because you'll just be back tomorrow. But I didn't check, so. So I headed back pretty early. I always try and stick on the safe side. I'm not really going for pure min-max, so it doesn't matter, but I like to have a little extra time to go back through and figure out what I'm gonna sell. In this case, I was going to calculate the exact amount I needed to sell, but I decided, you know what, I'll just sell everything. Since I already have level 5 fishing, I'll already get the 25% bonus, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'll have enough for a bunch of extra seeds, which I'll just store in my chest so I don't have to water too many every day. And yeah, I realized I had a lot of extra time, so I figured I'll cut some trees down. It's always a good use. So I only ended up with 9 iron, which means I need 16. And I think each iron costs 150 gold. So right there I need an additional 2,400 gold for the day. I guess I don't know if it's gold or not, it's just a G. But I need 2,400 extra dollars. So that kind of factors into what I'm going to sell. So right now I know I need 6,400 minimum just for the bag, the upgrade for the pickaxe, and for the iron. And then I'll probably want an extra 2,000 for seeds. So my goal, I guess, really is like 8,400 to 10,000, I guess. Luckily, I've had pretty good luck fishing. A lot of catfish, a lot of largemouth bass. So I'm in pretty good shape. There's going to be a bit of flashing here in a second, just because I'm going to check all my mail, so if you're sensitive to that, look away for a little bit. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, I empty all my inventory sometimes just so in the morning I can rethink of like what I'm going to do. But I ended up getting level 8 fishing, so this is definitely the earliest I've been that high in fishing. And then I sold over $10,000 worth of stuff, so I'm in a really good spot. for my 5th day, which is when we finally go into the mines. Kind of a hectic day and not as much fishing, which is nice. But we'll see. Stick around, tune in for the next episode. It will be the next 3 days.